Okay people, today we are going to talk about counting calories and specifically my top recommendations with regards to whether you are pursuing a weight loss goal, weight gain goal, a maintenance performance goal. These are the tips that A, will ultimately help you achieve your goal quicker, and B, it will prevent you from going down the rabbit hole of becoming obsessed with calories. And I say this having come from a place where I was once that guy who was weighing out half an apple, half a carrot. I've been there, it's a dark place, and I don't want any of that for any of you guys. So these are my top tips. The first thing that I really want to stress is counting calories is not 100% accurate. And the more comfortable you get with that fact, the more relaxed you will be when it comes to counting calories each and every day. It's really important to recognize that even though you may be scanning barcodes, even though you may be looking at menus and it says the calories, it's not going to be exactly 100%. It could be slightly under or it could be slightly over in terms of the amount of calories within that food. So don't stress if you're not hitting 100% every single day. So on that note, let's go into our top tips. So the first thing I want you to do when you go into the app is I want you to go to More. Essentially the settings area. I want you to go to apps and devices, and I want you to see whether anything is connected to MyFitnessPal. Typically, if you have an iPhone, it's going to be connected to Apple Health. If you have Google, it's going to be connected to Google's health platform. If you have a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, all these bits of technology will by default typically be attached to the app. The reason I stress this is because there's something called exercise calories. Exercise calories, in short, is the app giving you more calories per day based on the level of exercise that you do. For the sake of ease, disconnect every single application so nothing is connected. That way you simply have one target every single day and it's not going to change. Please do that right now. The second thing is when you go into your profile and then you go to the goals section, whatever your goal is, I'm going to use the example here of losing weight. So as you can see, I'm 85 kilos. I want to get to 82 kilos. To clarify, I don't want to do that in real life, but for the sake of testing. Then you go to the nutrition goals and it will throw back some calories that the app recommends. For me personally, and for any client I work with, I will prescribe 200 to 300 calories more if you are striving to lose weight, or 200 to 300 calories less if you're wanting to gain weight. The reason being is, again, it's not 100% accurate, and if you're losing weight, you would rather be losing weight on more calories. And again, with gaining weight, you don't want to be gaining excess body fat. So always err on the side of caution. The worst thing that can happen is that your weight plateaus, but you're eating a lot of calories. You can simply reduce them more. Likewise with gaining weight, if you're not gaining a huge amount of weight, then you know that you're not gaining a huge amount of body fat. So slow and steady wins the race. So if you're prescribing calories, give yourself a few more if you're losing, a little less if you're gaining. The third thing that I would highly recommend is to not bother counting calories for fruit or vegetables. If for whatever reason you are not getting closer to where you want to be in terms of weight loss or in terms of weight gain, it's very, very unlikely that it's going to be down to your fruit and vegetable consumption. It really, really is. Unless you are an orangutan and you're eating like 30 bananas a day, it's just not going to be where the problem lies. It's going to be elsewhere in your nutrition. And another thing as well, and going back to a point I made earlier about negative connotations and going down the rabbit hole of becoming obsessed, the last thing I want is for anybody to be looking at fruit and veg in a negative way. They're food groups that we need in our diet, and so I only would promote them. So do not count fruit or vegetables, and also drink as much water as you can. The final thing with counting calories is I would highly recommend every 8 to 12 weeks to take a complete break from the app. The reason being is, and I say this with every client that I work with, counting calories is a tool. It's not something that we should be relying on. If you are relying on an app to maintain, to lose, to gain weight, then there's something fundamentally wrong with your knowledge and awareness of what you are putting in your body. If you have been dieting, again, whatever your goal, for more than 8 to 12 weeks, just take a week off and just eyeball your food. Keep tracking your weight and just eyeball your food for a week and see what happens. You may well surprise yourself at how well you are able to maintain or still pursue your goal without the app. The reality of it is, if you're like me, your diet doesn't change dramatically from day to day. So it's not like you're going to be introducing brand new foods. I think mainly as well, mental health wise, it becomes emotionally draining living by an app. You know, there was a time when we didn't have these things and people still lost weight, people still gained weight, people still maintained weight. So we are becoming very reliant as a society on these devices. The reality of it is, we need to give ourselves a little bit more credit. We are capable of more than we think. So take a break now and again. It's only going to do you the best of good. You know, 2 weeks maybe max, and then go back to counting calories if you really want to, but just give yourself that break. And that's it. They're like my quick top tips with MyFitnessPal. I hope it helps. Any other questions with counting calories, please let me know. I'll speak to you in the next one. One more thing, I get asked this a lot. What should your percentages be when it comes to your calorie breakdown? For me personally, I would recommend 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 20% fat. Across the board, that is what I would recommend. Try and stay away from low carb diets, certainly stay away from keto. That is what I would recommend. Any questions, let me know.